Okay, we'll call the meeting to order, 9:04, and we will begin with public comment. We also have another public comment at 9:30. This public comment normally pertains to items on our closed session. Is there anybody who would like to go under public comment?
Yeah. Hi, my name's Carol Byers, and I just would like to notify people that the Mark Meckler event scheduled for tonight has been canceled. His son is being deployed today, and what's going on, it's understandable he would want to be there. We'll try and reschedule it. Thank you.
Anyone else under public comment? We'll move on then to announcement of items to be discussed in closed session.
Mr. Chairman, the board will be convening in closed session for a conference with legal counsel, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision D2 of Government Code Section 54956.91 case, and for employee performance evaluation, County Administrative Officer Richard Egan.
Thank you.
That'll be fun.
Okay.
That'll take a while.
With that, we'll go into closed session. Thank you. And we will take up announcement of items discussed in closed session.
Mr. Chairman, the board met in closed session for a conference with legal counsel, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to subdivision D2 of Government Code 54956.91 case. There was no reportable action. The board has delayed until after the open session. Item 3, employee performance evaluation, County Administrative Officer Richard Egan.
Okay, thank you. Okay, agenda approval, additions, and or deletions. Any public comment on this item? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to public comment. This is the opportunity for anyone to address the board on any matters. If you're here for a specific agenda item, we'll also have a public comment before we take up that item. I have a speaker card from John Wheeler.
Yes, I'd like to speak on behalf of the caretakers. I've been a caretaker for 35 years of my daughter. We like to be recognized, you know. There's a lot of us, we provide good care for the people that we take care of. That could be your brothers, your sisters, your mothers. So we would just like to be recognized that we're out here, we're trying to improve the care and also pay, you know, so that we can take better care of the people. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Richard, can you, just for the benefit of the people here, can you give a bit of, quickly just about the caretaker program information?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the concern, if I understand correctly, is the compensation of the caretakers. Is that?
May I speak?
Sure.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we get this justice.
I'm not sure I understand it yet.
Teresa, T-R-E-S-A, Caples, C-A-P-L-E-S. Well, I represent with California United Home Care Workers. I was also a provider, an IHSS provider for many years in Sutter County. The big thing for the providers is they don't seem to get respect for the quality of care that they provide to keep seniors and disabled in their home, in their communities. Obviously, here in Lassen County, we are in negotiations. Some struggle that we've had is your side of the negotiator will not set a table date for us. We several times have sent him communication to get back to the table with us. That seems to be the struggle here. Obviously, most providers work in poverty wages, and they just are very valued in the community to help disabled and seniors stay in their homes and live more of a community life than locked away in a nursing home or live unsanitary, unhealthy conditions. So the IHSS program services hours for people who are low income. So that's the best way to describe, and so.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I do. I'm sure I should know more about your program than I do. Unfortunately, I don't, and I think maybe it'd be a good opportunity for the board to, and me, I'm speaking for me as well, to maybe learn some more about what you do, and maybe perhaps we could have an item agendized to give a little bit of insight for the press and for the board members. A little bit more about your program. That would probably be the appropriate time.
Okay, I would solely appreciate to share that with you. And would it be possible to make like an appointment to see you, other than at the board meeting, like at your office, to give you more information?
Yeah.
So is that,
Yeah, but
Okay.
the time to give the board and the community some insight to what you do would be for us to agendize a time
Okay.
certain for you to come here and kind of give a presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, not necessarily talk about, pay issues, but just more the service you provide.
absolutely, because that is the most, really, that's the most important,
Sure.
is the service that they provide. And some providers have no choice but to care for their family member, and, it's more of a dignity sometimes issue than.
I would
So
appreciate
absolutely.
that very much if you could do that.
Okay, so should I contact you?
Please.
Okay. And November is Caregiver Appreciation Month. And a lot of the Board of Supervisors give proclamations to the home care workers. And I can follow through with the process on that if,
Yeah,
that would be-
Very good, yeah.
okay,
So maybe we could agendize it for October.
okay. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Is there anyone else who would like to go under public comment? Alrighty, let's take up our unagendized board reports. We'll start off with Supervisor Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have one item I wanted to report on. I attended yesterday in Vernon the PSA2 Executive Committee meeting, which that's the agency, it's a 5-county JPA that we belong to that oversees the administration of the Older American Act programs that are funded in the 5 counties. And significant to the meeting, we finally got to a point where we got the executive director seated now. She had her first evaluation. It's been a 6-month period that since she's been designated the executive director. But the big item on the agenda that I think got the board's attention and discussion dealt with the OPEB obligations, the post-employment benefit costs, which we've all 5 counties in the JPA and all the counties in the state and the cities having to deal with. It became very apparent to most of us there that the staff we have, it just has a 3-member staff right now. They're bringing on a 4th part-time person to do some clerical work. One of the providers that we've had in years past providing some of the information and referral type services isn't able to function, so they're moving that function is actually going to become part of the core operation out of the Wairika office for the 5 counties. So we're going to basically see the doubling of our staff. And the issue really kind of is how is that going to be paid and funded? Right now, each of the counties contribute based on a formula. Our expense is about $10,000, a little over $10,000, $10,400 and some dollars to support our match for the grants that received. It's roughly a $2 million budget for the Older American Act programs. We have a budget of around $250,000 funding out of the federal funds for administration purposes, and then the 5 counties put in roughly $50,000 to $60,000. That's what the match is out of our general fund to give them an operating budget of about $300,000. So the question comes up to how is that going to be paid? As required by GASB 43 and 45, there has to be every 3 years kind of a study done, an actuarial study determining what our unfunded liabilities would be. We have no retirees currently on the books, but as the employees that are working now, someday they could become retirees, so therefore the potential for that expense, and that's what the actuarial study kind of shows. So accrued through this year, the past expense cumulatively, according to this report, is roughly about $27,000. Just this year, with the expansion of the staff and with the current funding of the staff, we would be adding about another $20-some thousand to it. So we have, by the end of this fiscal year, probably an unfunded liability that's approaching $50,000, going on to $60,000. So the question the board had is, how is that going to be paid and met? Now, if we ignore it over time, that could become a huge liability, and ultimately, if the JPAs dissolve, then it would devolve back to each of the 5 counties and their general funds. Well, that would be kind of an unacceptable position to be in. So we've given direction to the executive director to look at the existing funding streams we have to determine how that is going to be paid on an ongoing type basis. So not only do we have to fund this current year's contribution to that long-term expense, and also for future years how that's going to be met as part of the operating budget, but then we also have to look at how we're going to fund the remaining balance from prior years that's been accumulated. So I just want to make the board aware of it. It was very clear, and Les Baugh, the chairman of the Shasta County Board, sits on that. He made it clear that if we don't come up with a plan, that this is really a deal buster. It could cause us to dissolve the JPA and cause that to be shifted to others. The fiscal staff person for the agency, she was of the opinion that the existing grant funds couldn't be used for that purpose, and she was pretty much strongly told by all the board members from all the counties that that's not so, that we've gone through that process here in Lassen County, and Health and Social Services, funds their obligation, Road Department funds their obligation, all the various department funding streams fund their obligation, and so that can be part of and should be part of how you allocate and use those resources. I'm going to give Mr. Egan a copy of the report, the actuarial report, and I'm going to ask that maybe he, working with his staff, can monitor what the PSA2 staff is doing, so that whatever comes out of this discussion is in the best interest of Lassen County, because I feel that it's one that if it's not watched closely could cause us a lot of grief. That was, like I said, most of the discussion we had. Maybe give some staff over there some assistance in terms of how to understand it, because I think part of the issue is that our staff is not, they're kind of sitting there kind of in a vacuum, and they really aren't plugged into what the options are, and they have a lull in terms of sense of security as to what they're doing and what their obligations and what the ramifications are. So I could think we could use some guidance along that one. So I wanted to report, and we'll keep you posted. And Tom is the alternate on that board, and I would encourage him. I was going to say, it would be nice if you could maybe attend some of those meetings, but get to know the other players and be in a position to, at some point, the ball's going to be in your court.
How many more? How many more?
PSA stands for Planning and Service Area. We're Service Area 2. There's 33 service areas in the state of California, and they operate the Area Agency on Aging. And so that's the terminology that comes out of the Federal Older Americans Act. And one of the other things is apparently we got a report, and I'll talk to you afterwards, but the Big Valley has its own separate contract, but apparently the funding that is due to them is being held up because they haven't gotten their paperwork squared away. So we need to maybe talk to them so that they can get their money to operate their program.
mentioned someday the ball's gonna be in the 12th quarter, I know you have to count down thoughts, so after how many more meetings?
Well, yeah, actually, I haven't, well, it's a January to January thing, so come January, Tom could be, it could be like 3 more meetings and Tom's there, so.
All right. Thank you.
That's a committee assignment, so that's a service on the board, but a committee assignment. So maybe the new chair will make sure that Tom gets his share.
Okay, thank you. Eric?
I just had 2 things. The first is I attended the emergency summit they had here this last Thursday. It was very well done for the part that I was there for. I unfortunately was not able to be there in a timely fashion in the morning, and I had to leave early in the afternoon.
I was there for the entire day, and it was.
But the part that I was there for, it was very well done. And thank you for all those people who put a lot of time and effort into putting that together. It was very well done.
We have a couple overachievers in the public health department.
Yes. And then, of course, the other thing is, most of you may have heard there's a big fire over in Weed that's burned up the sawmill, and how it affects Lassen County is what we've been talking about when Hannah come in the other day, and the resolution we passed here this last week is all the efforts put to fire suppression rather than forest management. Goes here to show again that can happen even in the town. It burned over 100 homes over there, it burned up the sawmill.
The church, the elementary school.
But the sawmill is what's gonna hurt Lassen County as far as the Big Valley area up there, because the big logging company up there that employs over 80 people, that's where the majority of their log goes to that mill to burn up, so that's an issue.
Wow.
So, anyway, that's our report.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric. Tom?
We had a town hall meeting in Hurlong. It was pretty well attended. In fact, it was very well attended. There's a lot of interest, of course, in the Amity airfield sale. But it was interesting, one of the hot topics was water. And I don't know if we've approached that in the manner we should. I'd like to take a little stronger approach to the water issues. And people are very concerned about their wells drying up and the drought conditions and what the county is doing with their water districts. I really got that out of that meeting. After the meeting, several people approached me about that water issue. I know that Hurlong, the Long Valley Groundwater District is in place right now, but it's not really being utilized. I think maybe we should head in that direction sooner rather than later. It was a great meeting that was well attended, and Ionim came, and yeah, it was a good meeting.
Mr. Platt?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I also attended part of the emergency preparedness meeting. I had an EMS meeting that morning, so I had the conference call, attend that, which we did. The NorCal EMS committee did approve the transportation plan for Lassen County EMS, which our board approved the week before. So, and then I, along with Larry, attended the last night Lassen County Coordination Council, and I'll report on part of it, and Larry can fill in. Diamond Mountain, this was reported by Plymouth National Forest. Diamond Mountain, there's some road closures in Diamond Mountain, which is done every year, I think now for about 30 years. 31 years, which is the benefit of the deer hunters to get the traffic off the main road, so the deer hunters can have a more closed area without a lot of vehicle traffic. I guess Plymouth County received some money from the Moonlight Fire Settlement Fund over the legal challenge, and several other fires that were challenged in court. And we're going to have Lassen County, or Lassen National Forest Supervisor look into. Part of the Moonlight Fire was in Lassen County. Whether there's any settlement fund to do to us or not, he's going to look into it and get back to us. The BLM draft EIS for the sage grouse should be out October 1st. BLM is going to open up a huge allotment at Twin Peaks that's out in the desert. After 14 years of closure, should be open. That's about 485,000 acres. Yeah, it's a grazing allotment, so it would be grazing in my mind. I'm sure that's what it's talking about. the Forest Service EIS to continue over snow vehicles on approved roads. That is EIS, this would be just renewing the current EIS, and nothing new in it. People are wanting to look at a connection between Lassen Forest and Plymouth Forest, where these snow off-road snowmobile over snow roads are connected. So you don't hit the end of the Lassen Forest, and also you got Plymouth Forest, and you got no connection. So that's one thing people want to look at in there. And it was well attended, and we have Plymouth National Forest, Lassen National Forest, Bureau of Land Management, Lassen County Public Works, and Lassen County Planning and Building, all attending the meeting. So it was, we're getting a lot of good attendance. Larry, I'll let you take over from
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, I'm trying to pretend that didn't happen.
I think what Ken from the BLM had a very comprehensive report there. And
There's a lot of said.
on the Twin Peaks, I think what he said, I think it's being used now as a renewal, and he says the last renewal was 14 years ago.
For the last renewal.
So they, unfortunately, he indicated he expects, some pushback from
A lot
the,
of controversy.
yeah, with the wild horse and burro people in a big, wrestling match over the available grazing.
So they don't want any grazing at all.
Yeah. And it's been a while since this issue came up, like I said, 14 years ago, so, but with that said, they're gonna do everything they can to keep it open for grazing, so, but he does expect a little bit of a.
Yeah. And after the big fires out there, I mean,
Yeah.
it really hurt that country for grazing.
Well, they had to suspend some of the grazing allotments because, for 2 years, because of the fire.
Right.
He gave a little report on the Bald Mountain Trail System. It's gonna mainly comprise of equestrian use and some it'd be available for non-motorized mountain biking and jogging and stuff. That's going forward.
Was this the Bald Mountain here, or the one in Blue Valley?
The one here.
One here,
Close by
right?
here, yeah. Their Stan Bales came and gave a presentation a couple months back. That one there, yeah, it's going forward. They've also put in some additional camping and parking areas in the Fort Sage OHV and increase some opportunities for trails there. And he also reported there's a new field manager at the BLM that's come down from Alturas, Emily Ryan. So maybe we'll get an opportunity to meet her here.
And, on the Bald Mountain fire that you mentioned, Little Valley, the Forest Service could use a letter of support from us in getting that salvage sale moving.
And, yeah, on the, Bob touched a little bit on the snowmobile issue, but he left out something that he's been put on the snowmobile committee to fix
I don't even like snowmobiles.
the parking, snow plowing of the snow.
Right, what happened years ago is actually when I first became supervisor, one of the first issues was at the end of Gold Run when the county quits plowing, to have an area to parking there, which that time belonged to Beckett. Then he was actually lost his life in a plane accident. So at that point it was a go, and it then kind of fell through the cracks, nothing's been done, so they're wanting to kind of get that going again, so. Because it's in my district, I was put on the snowmobile committee, which, tell you what, if I don't have to be out in the snow, I'm not gonna be, I'm not spending enough out in the cold. Snowmobiles have never been my deal.
It's a little dicey up there, if you're going up there to turn around.
I tell you what, yeah, I came down there one winter and I got all the kids out of the car. and
Oh, yeah.
I told Levi to follow me and gave my cell phone if I end up down the ditch.
It's not a good spot to turn around and do
No,
that,
there is no good
especially
spot.
if you
Once you get past a certain point, you're
Yeah, I got
in
that.
no return.
You got that choker checkpoint there, is that wide spot, that's
Yeah.
about the only spot you have out the end of the road there.
So we're re-looking into that, but I mean, there's been no snow to snowmobile on the last 2 years anyway.
And then, I have two Polaris RMK 900, so I'll only Vicky when you want to go.
You're welcome to it.
Go check out your trail.
Keep them gassed up.
And lastly, it's probably an appropriate time to report on this. I'm going to be doing a big fundraiser to try to raise a considerable amount of money for the handicap athletic class at the college. I think they were in here last week, and also the Janesville music program via the Biz Johnson Marathon. Decided to do the 26-mile run, and I'll be promoting that as a way to raise money for those two groups. And I don't know, maybe be the
You're gonna
first.
run?
Yeah,
You are?
October 12th.
You can make it.
I'll make it.
Mr. Chairman, I historically have been part of the group that mans the aid station at milepost 22 there by the tunnel. And I want you to know that I do not have advanced life support training, so.
Just have some steroids.
The only thing you can say to them, Jim, is just 4 more.
Yeah, it's downhill.
I'll be, I have been in touch with Jeremy and also with Ruth. Hopefully the local media will help get the word out, because I hope to make it a very, very successful
I'm going to
fundraiser.
attend it and watch you.
Yeah, come and bring your lunch or hang out at the tunnel.
You probably beat it the last one.
We'll have a support station, but I know that our CAO has been training, and he does marathons, and he's actually done the biz several times, so he might even keep you company.
Not this year.
My wife said, why don't you just do the half marathon, huh? And I said, babe, I don't do anything halfway, so it's going to go 26.
Well, the good news is after the first 7 miles, it's pretty much all done.
Yeah, don't worry, I did do a 54-mile event, but that was in my 30s, so 53, this is going to be a little bit more. But anyhow, that's all I have, thank you.
I want to go with that.
In my 30s.
I want to go with that.
30 years ago.
All righty, well, thank you. Okay, let's take up our item D2, proclamations, recognizing Shirley Foltz from Health and Social Services and Doug Foltz from Public Works on their retirement from Lassen County.
I would move the proclamation, Mr. Chairman.
So, it's been moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, chair votes aye.
I'll be waiting for you. I figured that when you keel over, that's volunteers.
Okay, congratulations. Proclamation in honor of Shirley Foltz on her retirement from Department of Health and Social Services, Behavioral Health. Whereas Shirley Foltz began her employment with Lassen County on July 1, 1993. That was a good year, that's when I got married, 93, that's good. As a program specialist, child care. On February 22nd, 2012, she was promoted to Behavioral Health Caseworker 1, what she held until her retirement on September 25th, 2014. Shirley provided individual rehabilitation services to young children in which she taught the important life skills such as communication, self-calming, interpersonal and anger management skills. She also provided collateral services to parents, including teaching and understanding of child development and positive parenting techniques. Shirley included with that effective communication skills along with positive discipline techniques. Shirley had taught parenting classes in the Promises program for many years, and whereas Shirley Foltz has always been a very dedicated and conscientious employee, she possesses a special gift in working with our most vulnerable population, young children. Shirley has had a positive impact on the lives of hundreds of Lassen County children. She has taught parenting skills to hundreds of parents in recovery in her many years in the Promises program. And whereas Shirley Foltz helped create the Promises program, and then for the next 21 years she cared for, taught, and helped every woman and child that came through this program. She faithfully gave her love, skills, and insight to improve the lives of generations of clients, and in doing so also improve the lives of her co-workers, friends, and community. Shirley's passion is children, and the lives she has changed are as numerous as the stars rippling throughout our town. Congratulations. County and world. That's a lot of stars. She will be missed, and her legacy is in the hearts of all she touched. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of the County of Lassen that Shirley Foltz be commended for over 21 years of service to the citizens of Lassen County, and that the Board of Supervisors wishes her well for many years to come. The foregoing proclamation was adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors, County of Lassen, State of California, held on the 16th day of September 2014 at Susanville, California. Congratulations.
Yes, I will.
Can I say something about Shirley?
Sure.
Stay up. It's been my pleasure to be Shirley's supervisor the last couple of years at Behavioral Health. She's a wonderful, wonderful human being. We're going to miss her very much. Behavioral Health is going to miss her very much.
Come on, Scott.
Her clients are going to miss her tremendously. There's been a lot of crying going on. Shirley has a real gift in working with young children, and I'm encouraging her in her retirement. I hope that you can find a way to continue to work with kids, because I know that's your passion, and you do such a nice job. And I also want to wish you congratulations in your retirement.
Thank you.
I just want to be brief. Surely it's not going to be the same without you at work. And our kids went to school together. That's how long we They're all grown up. We've got grandkids now. So I just want to say thank you for all the time you put in.
Thank
Good
you.
luck in your retirement.
I loved it, so thank you very much. Oh, yeah.
We also have a proclamation for Shirley's husband, Doug. I'll read it for the record. On his retirement from Lassen County Department of Public Works. Whereas Douglas Foltz first began employment with Lassen County in April 1997 at the fairgrounds. In 2000, Doug transferred to the Public Works Department as a building and grounds worker, sharing duties between Public Works and the fairgrounds. In 2001, Doug transferred to the Cemetery Division. Doug quickly promoted to the position of Senior Building and Grounds Worker in February of '02. Later in '02, Doug transferred back to the Building and Grounds Division, where his full potential could be utilized. Doug held his position of Senior Building and Grounds Worker until his retirement on September 25, 2014. Whereas Doug Foltz, during his employment with the county, has been assigned various duties and responsibilities within the Public Works Department, where his experience and work ethic made him an invaluable employee to the county. Most noted are his accomplishments in maintaining the mechanical systems for the county facilities and being able to fix anything. And whereas Doug Foltz has been an excellent worker who has received outstanding performance reviews throughout his career with the county. In fact, Doug has been described as an excellent employee on more than one evaluation. Doug is known for his great personality, consistent attendance, thoroughness in completing his work tasks correctly the first time, and his ability to work independently without supervision. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of the County of Lassen that Douglas Foltz be commended for over 17 years of service to Lassen County, and that the Board of Supervisors wishes him well for many years to come. The foregoing proclamation was adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors, County of Lassen, State of California, held on the 16th day of September 2014 at Susanville, California.
Doug's a little shy, so would not commit.
Just a couple things I'd like to say. As you heard, we're going to miss Doug a lot. He was relied on, help us through all our county buildings. He's going to lose a lot of expertise and knowledge there, but we hope him great success and happiness in his retirement.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, with a certificate of recognition for Debbie Kincaid in appreciation for your 10 years of employment with the County of Lassen. Hi, how are you? Congrats. This is for 10 years of employment with the County of Lassen. In appreciation for your 10 years of employment with the County of Lassen, we, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors, would like to take this opportunity to present you with a certificate of recognition. And thank you for your time, efforts, and commitment.
And I'd like to say, Debbie's been 10 years in the Child Support Program. It's been a pleasure having you in our program. And I look forward to the next 10 years that you can give back to the family and be the faithful and good public servant that you are.
Thank you. I bet that's me.
How are you?
Good.
Okay. Certificate of recognition. I just gotta say something real quick. First, I think the first meeting I had to do these, I had to give one to Kyle there, and I had a mess up. I said certificate of resignation. So every time I do these and I see that word there, I try to almost start laughing. Just need to share that. This is definitely not a certificate of resignation. Certificate of recognition awarded to Julie Morgan in appreciation for your 10 years of employment with the County of Lassen. We, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors, would like to take this opportunity to present you with a certificate of recognition. And thank you for your time, efforts, and commitment. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
If I could just say something about Julie. Julie's been with the county for 10 years now. I think she's had 12 or 15 CAOs to work for. And she's always been very supportive of the department's mission. And, always there on time with a smiling face, so appreciate that.
Mr. Chairman, are you sure it's been 10 years? It seems like it's been more like 30 years. She's always been
It's
there.
gone fast. Thank you. Thank you.
Douglas Fletcher. How you doing? Okay, certificate presented to Douglas Fletcher. In appreciation for your 15 years of employment with the County of Lassen, we, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors, would like to take this opportunity to present you with a certificate of recognition and thank you for your time, effort, and commitment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hang on.
Where do you think you're going? Just a few things about Doug, Mr. Chairman, and for everybody here. He started working for us as a correctional officer, and then he took over as the fleet manager. So he is in a supervisory role. He manages that motor pool operation on our behalf, and it would be difficult to caption in a real short time everything that entails. That's not just the basic lube and tune service. That's not just making sure that the tires and the brakes, and I mean, we travel a ton of miles countywide. And to know that those cars are out there, that they're safely traveling down the road. We travel over 500,000 miles in the sheriff's office alone. And we get the silver medal to HSS. They drive more than we do. So well over 1 million miles a year get traveled. And the fact that we do it, and the fact that these cars are out there, and the safety record we've had with the fleet is, I mean, it's a credit to Doug, just the, you know, the care that he takes, the time he puts into it. And that's before we talk about all the other aftermarket modifications. He did all the cage fabrications for our patrol cars for years. All of the big heavy work that we've done on the front ends, we hit everything. I mean, we're like a Noah's Ark, sometimes the things that we've run over. And Doug spent so much time trying to beef those things up. You know, he never made one that was cow-proof, but he tried. But he did custom cage work for HSS, for mental health transport vans, and doing all of those things to help keep not just the county, you know, the county workers and all of our employees that drive those cars safe, but for the rest of the motoring public that's out there. And I just can't say enough about the work he does, the care he puts into his work, and the benefits we see from it. Thank you, Doug.
A couple other things Doug does for us. He's that armored car we have, he has a preference for driving that when we go out and serve search warrants and so on. So it's been a few times. I remember one in particular where I was hanging on the back of the armored car, and there was a big gate, and Doug sped up when he saw it. He went and ran through it. And anyways, the gate swung around, hit the sides of the armored car. But that armored car has the biggest bumper you've ever seen. It looks like something in the
On a train locomotive.
Yeah. But Doug does a great job for us. I mean, I really appreciate him. And he's always there when we need him, whether it is after hours, we need someone just to operate the armored car and drive it for us, or we call him into the jail for, you know, a fight or just need his help. Whatever we need, he's always there. So appreciate it, Doug.
I've got a question for Doug. Okay, so we have over 1 million miles being driven. How many cars are in the fleet that you oversee? Total?
Over 200, almost 300.
Almost 300 cars. Okay, I think that's an impressive statistic. Good job.
Yeah. All with himself and a few people. Previously, we used inmates to do the work with them. Now we're using people who are out on ankle monitoring, coming to the jail to work every day. But to maintain all those cars the way he does with that kind of help is extraordinary. So thank you.
Okay, Norma Sheets. Hi. How are you? Congrats.
Thank you.
20 years, huh?
I know.
What is the time ago? Certificate of recognition. The certificate is presented to Norma Sheets in appreciation for 20 years of employment with the County of Lassen. We, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors, would like to take this opportunity to present you with a certificate of recognition and thank you for your time, efforts, and commitment. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say a few words about Norma. In the county, department heads have kind of this friendly competition of employees. You know, you say sometimes, you know, oh, man, I'm going to steal that employee if I ever have a chance from you. And so about 15 years ago, I had the opportunity to steal Norma from Bob and bring her into the Treasurer Tax Collector's office to handle the collections function. And it's probably the best steal I've ever had so far. Norma's been, over the years, has been just a wonderful influence on that department and the whole county. She's a team player. She digs into things and gets the job done. And I was really pleased to see her be appointed as the Treasurer Tax Collector a few months ago. I think she's doing great there. And I just hope I never ever owe her any money, because that is her forte, collecting money. But thank you, Norma.
Thank you.
I'd like to just add to that, and one one of the things that, you learn with this position, it's a four-year deal, and there's a lot of things you learn, but one of the nicest things that I'll take away from my 4 years is just getting to see and learning the opportunity of how many great people, make up the county. There's so many wonderful employees, 4 years ago I had no idea, it's really been an eye-opener, and so it's really great to see. There's so many people, great people that make this place tick, and Norma, you're one of them, and congrats, thank you. James Lane, 35 years.
There he is. How's the new ticker working?
Working good. In appreciation for your 35 years of employment with the County of Lassen, we, the Lassen County Board of Supervisors, would like to take this opportunity to present you with this certificate of recognition. And thank you for your time, efforts, and commitment. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Jim's our foreman for District 3, which is Standish, Herlong, Doyle, South County. We rely on him a lot. He has a knowledge of all our road system, everything out there. One of the good things, he's just a youngster, so I think we're going to get a few more years out of him, which I'm very happy with. So congratulations, Jim. Thanks a lot for all that.
Okay, next up is our 10:25 recess, so while we go ahead and take that a couple minutes early.